Okay, I'm Mike Willis. We've got another edition of Team USA Tuesday. Today, I'm joined by World Team member Kayla Miracle. Kayla, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for taking some time to speak with us today. We got a list of questions for you. Are you ready to jump into them?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Starting off, what is your favorite movie?
Oh, my favorite movie. I think I would have to say Lilo and Stitch. It's always the one I'll go back to. You can watch it, for happy, sad, whatever. You're going to bed. I know the ending, so I don't have to stay up and watch it. And it's super cute. I'd say that. But there are also a lot of really good movies, like She's the Man. I just watched all the Marvel movies. Those were great. But I'd say that's probably the number one. And then if we're going sports or something, I'd say Stick It.
Stick It. Is that gymnastics?
The gymnastics one, yeah.
Cool. Very cool. So your range is kind of eclectic. You're from, Disney movies to superhero movies to mid 2000s rom-coms to
Oh, yeah.
movies.
Depends on the mood, but I'll watch pretty much anything.
Right on. All right, next question. Who is your favorite musical artist?
That one is also a pretty wide range, and it definitely depends on my mood. Lately, because, being in Arizona, everything's a little bit more spread out. I'm spending about 2 hours in the car every day. It's 30 to practice, 30 back, and, practice and a lift. So it's a lot of time in the car. I have not been enjoying music that much, so I'm trying to find a podcast to supplement that. But if I had to pick, a classic is always Blink-182. Going back to that, Luke Combs, went to one of his concerts, and that was super awesome. He's great. And then, I love George Ezra, the Brook and the Bluff type of music too.
Gotcha.
So I'd probably listen to those two more than anything else, though.
Do you have any podcasts that you've been listening to or that are your go-tos, or is this kind of a new field for you?
Just started this week, so maybe in a couple more weeks I'll have one that I'm 100% into. So if anyone has any recommendations, send them my way because I need help.
Got it. What is your favorite food?
All foods. I think if I could only have one food for the rest of my life, it would be eggs, because you can have them breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, whatever. You can have them in so many different ways. You got your poppy eggs, you got them in a burrito, you got however. So that, but I love a good steak. I love a burger. Sometimes I just crave just a nice burger. So, and then I also I love plain buttered noodles too. Not too picky.
Yeah. If you could only have your eggs one style for the rest of your life, what would they be?
Over easy with some
Over
toast.
easy.
Yeah.
That's classic egg style. Very, very nice.
Oh yeah.
So what is your favorite sport to watch other than wrestling?
I would have to say gymnastics. I don't watch other sports all that much, and I don't follow them. I'm in a fantasy league with my family. I'm really bad at it. Thankfully, one of my teammates here at Sunkiss Kids is helping me out. So I'm not in last place, definitely not in first, but we're getting there. But I just don't follow other sports that much, but I'll see highlights or things on Team USA social media accounts, and I love watching gymnastics. And then Stick It is a gymnastics movie, and I just have so much respect for them. They're incredible athletes. I wish I could do what they do.
I'm sure there are gymnasts saying the same thing about wrestlers, but point made. Gymnastics is crazy. It's one of the ones that makes your jaw drop when you watch it because it's so fantastic. Did you play any other sports growing up?
I grew up doing all the different sports. I did the dance, as a 4-year-old, whatever, soccer, football, cross country. I did track in middle school. I did sailing my senior year of high school, and my senior year of college, I decided to join the cheerleading team. So
really, how did that go?
I loved it. I wish I would have started when I was younger. I think I could have been pretty good. You know, you have a lot of wrestlers can do some tumbling, but it's not pretty tumbling. It's just wrestler tumbling. You throw something and it's real sloppy, but they were able to kind of fix those and make them look a lot prettier. And if I had more time in the sport, I think I could have advanced. And, you know, the stunting, the team aspect, it was a lot of fun. And yeah, I just wish I could have done it maybe a little bit longer or started a little earlier.
You weren't worried about like any potential injuries or setbacks that could have affected you in wrestling?
Definitely a little bit, but I was just trying to enjoy my senior year. Um, and, you know, we were really safe with the things we tried, or even certain positions. Like, I didn't want to ever try flying because I didn't trust anyone. You know, I didn't want to be dropped type thing. I wanted to be the one to catch someone. And we were always really safe with spotters and things like that. So I felt like I was in pretty good hands, especially with my body awareness and body control. I can kind of avoid some situations.
Yeah, I feel like in high school, every year there was like one or two cheerleaders that would come in with like an arm and a sling or something. And usually they were the
Oh, yeah.
flyers because those were the, you know, high risk maneuvers.
Yeah, you're getting thrown up and tossed up, you're landing, posting, things like that. But
Yeah. So who are your favorite wrestlers, either past or present, to watch?
I mean, when I did the wrestling hero thing with track, I said Clarissa Chun. She's, you know, just great. I love working with her. She's just super knowledgeable. Sorry, my cat is going crazy over there. Trista Saunders, she is just, I don't know, she was my coach for one of the junior worlds, and I loved all the knowledge that she had and just like the mental aspect of it too. Kind of like the sports psych behind it. I don't know. I don't think I watched a ton of wrestling when I lived with Allie Reagan and Michaela Beck. They would turn on the TV and it was wrestling, whether it be something, you know, watching Tom Brands way back when, or John Smith, whatever it is, or even just a tournament going on at the time, you know, Russian nationals, whatever. They were always watching it. And I don't know, I feel that I kind of watch, you know, whatever on Netflix and try to avoid the wrestling all that much. But I'm starting to get a lot more from Mark Perry of John Smith, trying to adopt some of the things that he had and bring them into my wrestling. So I don't know.
Yeah. So when you are trying to kind of like unwind and get out of wrestling mode, what are your hobbies off the mat?
I mean, I love to just sit around and watch Netflix and be lazy. I mean, I can be very lazy if I want to be. I hang out with my cats a lot. I like to do Sudoku. Just recently, I started playing Call of Duty with my brother. So that's some good family bonding. And then I love coffee shops and stuff. And then I actually just recently started my master's in sports management at Campbellsville University, which is where I got my undergrad at. And
Cool.
so that keeps me busy, gives me something to do. So yeah.
So how do you stack up to your brother in COD?
We both are not that great, but I've been playing, I think, about a week and a half now, and we got our first duo dub yesterday, and we were both very excited because we usually have his friends who are very good carrying us.
Right on. That does sound like some good family bonding.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot of fun. And how many cats do you have?
I have two. So there's the big one. Her name is Stassi. I've had her for a little over 2 years. And then the little one is Goose, named after the cat in Captain Marvel, the Flurkin alien thing. Yeah. And she has been around for maybe 4 months.
And she's off
Something like
screen
that.
right
She's
now
young.
being a goofball.
Yeah, she's being crazy. And then I have Cat TV on over there. So Stassi is watching that very closely.
What is Cat TV?
Just different YouTube videos. Sometimes it's just squirrels and stuff, like nature, and the squirrels are eating, birds fly in, whatever. But I actually found some where they're animated and they have like things going across the screen or like little fish, and they kind of go crazy for it. So anytime I leave for practice, I turn it on with like a 30-minute sleep timer, so it gives them something to do. And then eventually they'll tire out and go take their nap.
Yeah. Do they get along?
Oh yeah. When we first introduced them, Goose, the little one, was kind of hissing and not super happy. But then within an hour they were fine. And then the next day, they're best friends. They'll cuddle together. They'll play and wrestle and chase each other around the house. So
That's fun.
yeah.
So you can be serious or you can be, funny with this next question, but
Okay.
what is your biggest fear?
Oh, I do not like snakes at all. And I think when Taylor Miller was doing the who's who kind of guessing thing, I said a snake being in my toilet. That just terrifies me. If it's just like comes up the drain or it's like around the rim and you don't even see it, just freaks me out. And especially being here, there are more dangerous snakes, I guess, rather than just like some casual ones. But yeah, I do not like snakes at all.
So in Iowa, did you have any run-ins with Miss Hiss?
I did not. Saw some videos and some pictures, but definitely avoided Miss Hiss.
Gotcha. So you're really in the thick of it right now, but do you know what you want to do when you're done competing with wrestling? I assume stay in sports somewhat, considering you're getting a master's degree in sports management.
Yeah, I would love to coach. Just stay in the sport, be involved, help. I've had some really amazing coaches that have changed my life, and I would like to be that for someone else. So whether that's coaching at the college level or post-collegiately, even high school, not sure about that yet. Figure that out. And then if I end up wanting to take a step away, I have always had the idea of opening an ice cream shop because I really love ice cream. So maybe that. And then I also think it would be really cool to try American Ninja Warrior, because I don't know, that's just super awesome. People are crazy talented and I want to try those obstacles and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, right on. Well, I got to ask, what's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Trader Joe's has this mint chip one, and I can eat a whole tub of that in a day easily. So probably that. But I mean, I love just like a classic strawberry too. But if I'm going to Trader Joe's, I am getting that one for sure. I actually just finished mine off yesterday. So
What makes the Trader Joe's mint chip that much better than all the other ones out there?
I don't know. I think maybe the way the chocolate chips are, they're like these little rectangles rather than like a hard piece of chocolate, so kind of melts in your mouth a little bit, and it's so creamy, and it's not like super minty where it kind of like takes you back. It's just subtle. Thinking about it, I need to go get some right after this.
You're very passionate about Trader Joe's mint chip.
Trader Joe's, great place.
So how did you first get involved in wrestling?
So my dad coached and my brother wrestled. So it was kind of like a family business type of thing. And after, going to practices, sitting around, I just wanted to try it out. And my dad actually wasn't all that for it. And my mom, she was, like, go ahead, like, we're here anyways. And eventually, so my dad was the coach of the club that I joined, and he made practices really hard trying to get me to quit. And 4-year-old Kayla, I'm like, this is so fun, and here we are like 20 years later, and now I'm still wrestling and he's a women's college coach. So we kind of turned the corner there.
Did you ever mess with him about it? Like, hey, remember that time you tried to get me to stop wrestling?
No, but anytime anyone asks in the interview, I definitely have to make it clear that he was not about it at first. And people can change, people can grow. So I'm glad he did.
Yeah. So he was actually your college coach.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like? Because that must be a really unique experience. I don't think there's too many wrestlers that can say, yeah, I was coached collegiately by my parents.
Yeah, I mean, off the top of my head, I can only think of two, Kayla Miracle and Nelson Brands. But other than that, I don't know. There are more, obviously, but yeah, it's difficult because it's at a high level, and I had dreams beyond college at that point. I was already thinking like I want to go to the Olympics, I want to win the Olympics. So there was a lot of pressure on me, and he held me accountable, and I had to be a leader on and off the mat and do everything right that I could. And if I stepped out of line, he would make sure to tell me, which made it hard on that relationship, that father-daughter, because sometimes it would transition. It would just be that coach athlete, and it would be hard to turn the switch off, basically. But now that I'm out in Arizona being coached by Mark Perry and stuff, we're getting back to focusing on that father-daughter. And then there are times where we'll talk about wrestling and stuff like that, things that I need to do or where I'm going or how I'm training and stuff. But
do you think you understood fully, like in high school, like you're committing to college and you're going to wrestle for your dad? Do you think you knew what it was? I mean, you didn't know what it was going to be like, but did you have an understanding of the complexities that would come along with it?
Maybe I knew, but I didn't accept it or even like care about it. Because in high school, I went to a boarding school. So I had Matt Bailing as my coach, and my dad would come and watch certain tournaments, and he would, we would call on the phone, you need to work on this, blah, 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 blah. And so transitioning, it's not on the phone, hey, you need to work on this. It's like, all right, in practice, you can only do this thing, and like really watching me. But I think he knew that I'm super passionate about my career and my choice of choosing wrestling and going to the Olympics and winning the Olympics. So he knew that I was going to be doing the right thing. So he didn't have to be super helicopter-ish to me. So it was nice.
Did you consider any other schools, or did you know it was going to be Campbellsville?
So my junior year is when he decided to start coaching there. Before that, he was in the Navy for 20 plus years. He retired, and he was kind of looking for his next step. What was he going to do? And Campbellsville decided they wanted to build a program. My junior year of high school, they asked him, they did the interview, blah, blah, blah. And then they offered him the job, and he told me, he's like, I'm not going to take this unless you want to come be coaching against you type thing. So I went on a visit, and I loved it. It just felt like home. The people were awesome. The place was awesome. It's a small town, but, it just felt right. And I mean, I don't think I would change my decision if I could go back in time.
Yeah. So you actually, this year you were with them at WCWA's. They won, they kind of ran away with it. How cool is that to be able to go back and still be a part of that team and a part of that culture?
Oh, it's so awesome. I mean, anytime I can go back home and visit my family, I like to do any sort of clinic or talk or go into practice and wrestle around with them or whatever, whenever I can. And right now I'm helping them virtually with, some film reviews, some sports psych. Just last week I was talking with Charlotte Fowler for like 2 hours or something about the Beat the Streets match that she took on a whim after not wrestling for months and just taking that match. So we were talking about that, and I'm just excited to help them grow, because I know some of them really want to get to the level that I'm at. They have the same dreams, and if I can help them get there, then sweet.
Yeah. So you're at Arizona State now, Sunkiss Kids. You're in Iowa with the Hawkeye Wrestling Club as well. Same coaches, same training partners for the most part. What are the differences between the two places?
I mean, the weather, of course. Iowa gets very cold. Arizona gets very hot. But I think maybe just the style of the practice. At Iowa, we were closer with the guys team. We spent more time around them. Right now, especially with COVID, things are very spread out. We're sticking to our bubble. We have our practice partners and our certain practice time. So we see the guys in passing, but we don't really work with them as much. And then just, I think the mindset of, a Tom Brands to a Zeke Jones, they're just a little bit different in their approach. You know, right now I'm working with Lee Pritz and Mark Perry most, and they're very different than a Tom and Terry Brands in just the wrestling style, the way they talk, the intensity of it. You know, you still got to work hard, but it's just the way they present it is just different.
Do you think it's hard to like maintain your style when you're in a room like surrounded by, you know, like greats, like, and you want to incorporate stuff that other people, you know, are showing you? I don't know. Does it ever feel like a struggle to wrestle like you, or is it easy for you?
With coaches or with athletes?
I meant more so with the coaches. I'm just saying, you know, like you've got world champs in both rooms, and obviously some of that's rubbing off on you. But in general, like, do you stay true to your style, or do you keep adding and innovating? And again, do you ever feel like it's tough to do both?
Well, I think in Iowa, you know, they grind, they're hand fighting, they're aggressive, and that's not me at all. And it's something that I really need to work on. I need to figure out how to be more aggressive on the mat. I need to figure out how to win the hand fight and really control the ties. So with them having that as a focus, it's not like I'm changing my style. I'm just adding to it by focusing on that. And then they were always very good about, you know, in my positions, if I am in on a shot and I'm extended, you know, how would I react to it? How am I going to score versus how maybe Forrest or Allie is going to score, or even Alex Marinelli? You know, we're very, very different. And then especially with Perry, he is always telling us how different we are especially between myself, Forrest, and Allie. And then you add all the other girls in there and then all the other guys too. He's very good at individualizing everything. He's talking about, wow, I'm drawing a name blank right now. Okay, I'll get back to it maybe. But like those two, Allie and Forrest, they're going to be more hand fighting. They're going to be right in there. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be more of a John Smith or a Zeke Jones, you know, grabbing the elbows, things like that, trying to be more slick. So when he's sending us videos, when we're doing our one-on-ones, he's focusing on that. So it's not like I have to change my style. He's just sharpening it. And then, you know, you have the different takes of a Frank Molinaro or something who's going to see me doing something and throw something in like, oh, maybe you can do this. I'm like, oh man, like that feels real good. Yeah. So it's nice to have the different opinions and the different feels.
So if I've counted correctly, you've been on 9 different world teams, age group world teams?
I think so. Maybe.
And you've got, you know, the unique experience of you've competed at cadets, you've competed at juniors, you've competed at U23s, and now seniors, and you've medaled at all of them except the seniors. I was going to ask, how has, you know, all those different international trips kind of prepared you for the senior level? And then also, again, wrestling at all those different high-level tournaments, did senior worlds, besides the level of competition, feel different than all of the other ones that you wrestled in?
Well, I mean, I think senior worlds there was more hype into it, and even just like the staging area, things like that. It was just more elaborate, I guess, in the way they set it up. So that's really the only difference. I think wrestling in those younger, like the age group world championships, just helped me along the way. They really made me get better. You know, I wanted to win a world title at every single level, and I haven't done it yet. You know, I've been really close. So, I mean, I have 2 silvers and 2 bronzes. You know, that's not fun at all. But within those and those losses, I have improved so much. You know, I can look back at that year 1 of cadets going 1-1 to year whatever of U23s and finishing silver. There's so much growth within that. And I think a lot of it was that summer wrestling, going to Body Bar, making a team, that whole process, and then those training camps within that. So the whole system, the age group, the developmental system is awesome within USA Wrestling. And I'm super thankful for it, because I don't think I would be where I'm at today without it. You know, getting to be around coaches like Carrie Steiner, Clarissa Chun. At the time we had Erin Tomio, Emma Randall. We even had Seiko Yamamoto, who's a 4-time world champ. She was in my corner for Junior Worlds once, and it's awesome. It's just like a learning process, and it's just going, and it won't stop until I stop with the sport. Even as a coach, you're going to continue learning and growing, but yeah.
Yeah, and I was going through the archives before this interview, and I mean, you've really been competing on the senior level for 7 or 8 years at this point. And found a match, I think it was from the 2014 U.S. Open, and you were wrestling with Helen Miracle, and I think
I got pinned, I think.
17 years old, and Helen had just won her first or second world medal.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like as a teenager who's obviously, a rising star in the program, going up against wrestlers that have already established themselves as some of the best in the world?
Yeah, and I think at that point, I might have even been 16. I don't know, because it was before the rules kind of got more strict about when people could wrestle at the Open. I wrestled her, and you go in and you're kind of like starstruck. Let's see what I can do. Like, cool, I'm wrestling Helen, and it did not go well. And then you fast forward to World Team Trials, however many years later, and I'm wrestling her best 2 out of 3 in the finals. And it's a little bit different. It's like, all right, not like, oh, cool, I'm wrestling Helen. It's like, I'm wrestling Helen, like, let's go. And I think now, even just with that, I guess, 3-year span, it's like, if I would wrestle Helen, it's like, I'm going to beat you. Like, I don't care that you're an Olympic gold medalist. Who I am today is way better than all those other girls you've wrestled type thing. That 16-year-old me or that 20-year-old me, this 24-year-old me is pretty awesome, And so I think if we were to wrestle, I would put a different person forward. It wouldn't be like, oh, I'm wrestling Helen, let's see what I can do. It's let's see how good I am and see how many points I can put on the board. And that's kind of the mentality, Perry and I are talking about it, like that I want to bring into the match. For any match, it's not, all right, let's hold on to this win. I'm up 2-0. Let's put the points on. Let's win 8-0. Let's get a tech, type things.
Yeah. When do you think that mentality switch started to happen with I'm wrestling Helen, to like, I'm going to try to put it on Helen?
I think after I lost at the first Final X to Mallory, I remember my mindset going in there. I was like, wow, this is a really cool experience. Like, this is awesome. And then I lost. I won the first match and then lost the next 2. That's embarrassing and it's sad. You don't want to lose. And it's a world team spot. And then she goes on and wins bronze. And, after that is when I made the move to Iowa full time. And with Perry and Tom and Terry in my ear, it's like, it's not all fun and games. It's not, oh, let's just see what can happen. It's like, I am here. Like, it is my time. Like, I know I am completely capable of winning an Olympic gold medal or a senior world gold type thing. But it's just, I have to make it happen, and I can't leave any room for doubt. Even wrestling at the U23 events, I want to go through trials and just run through it. I want to spend as little time on the mat. I want to just widen that gap type of thing. And so within that, it was just taking them to deep waters type mentality. And every single day, the things that they would say, just little things. I don't think it was one big moment, but it was just within that, the training every single day of, okay, Allie might be kicking my butt all week, but we're doing a last, like sudden victory type thing in practice. Like, I'm going to get this one. She just kicked the crap out of me all day. She got every single takedown. If we were keeping score, it would be like 100-0, but I'm going to get this one. Like, I'm going to keep going type thing. And it's like fighting for every point, fighting for every opportunity.
So in your most recent outing, you qualified the weight class for the Olympic Games at the Pan Am Olympic qualifier. You're now sitting in the Olympic trials finals. How big was that? And what emotions did you feel when you got the job done?
Well, there's a picture, and I'm like this, like and it doesn't look like I'm very happy, but I was very happy. I promise. That picture did not show my emotions very well. Well, with everything going on, the COVID stuff, Sarah Hildebrandt was my roommate, and we were kind of freaking out. We're like, is this tournament going to get canceled? NCAA has just got canceled. Women's NAI has just got canceled. We're like, what in the world? And, you know, we kind of told ourselves, we're like, you know, we got a job to do. You know, we want to wrestle. We want to get this done because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if trials is going to be pushed back, if the Olympics is going to be pushed back. So we got to get this done now because we don't want to leave anything up. So we're like, you know what? Take those thoughts, throw them out the window. We're here for business. If they say it's canceled, then we'll figure out our next steps from there. So going in, there were a lot of nerves. And obviously I want to get that spot. You know, it's, I think, a huge advantage. I don't have to do that mini tournament before. You know, I'm going to go in fresh and I'm waiting for one person. You know, they can fight it all out and I'll take one. But going through the tournament, I knew I had a lot of tough girls. I had actually lost to multiple of the girls that I had wrestled, Fazari, Bonilla, so Canada, Mexico. And then, I mean, I wrestled Brazil, I don't know how many times that year alone, and some of them were pretty close. So I'm, you know, worried a little bit. You know, they're going to be fights. It's not going to be easy. But going through, you know, I just felt good. You know, the training was great. The peak was great, and got the job done. And afterwards, it was just relief. You know, just we're at that point waiting for the news of what are we doing with trials? What are we doing with the Olympics type of thing? And I was set. You know, there are 6 of us that are kind of set, and we're just waiting. And now it's just preparing and being our best selves.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think is the best advice that you've received in your career, or a piece of advice that really sticks out to you?
I remember when I was it was Junior Worlds, and Trisha Saunders was the coach, and I think I had just gotten bronze, and we were I was like hanging out with my dad, some of the coaches, and maybe Maya Nelson, someone else on the team too, and we were just sitting there talking, and I was talking about training opportunities, going places, things like that, and Trisha Saunders said, like, don't be afraid to ask. Just ask. Whatever it is that you want, ask whoever. If I need money from a sponsor, if I need to go here in this country and train with these random people, if I need this person as a partner, whatever it is, however big, however small, ask. And the worst case scenario is that they say no. And then I'm right back to where I started. So not being afraid to like ask for what I want or ask for what I need, so that I can make the necessary improvements. So I think that's the one that's kind of really stuck out with me, that I always kind of go back to if any question like this comes up.
In a similar vein, what advice would you give somebody that's just starting out in the sport?
I mean, I think easy, just have fun. You know, the sport, it can suck if we're being honest. Like sometimes I hate it, sometimes I don't want to do it, and it's just hard. You know, you have to worry about what you're eating. You have to worry about your cardio and your lifting. It's not just wrestling. It's not. There are a lot of components if you want to be good. So I think just having fun and like being a sponge and learning from anyone, if they're younger, older, if they're your partner, your coach, whatever it is, just constantly learning and having fun within it, because that's going to increase the amount of time that you want to stay in the sport. Because I think if you hate the sport, then you're not going to succeed.
Yeah. What is your motivation during your, toughest training sessions, or a day where you're like, yeah, this does kind of suck? What do you use to dig deep and push through it?
I mean, sometimes if I'm doing an aerodyne sprint or something, I'll just like one of the girls that I'm going to have to wrestle, like a Kauai, Usain, whoever it could be, the girl from Kyrgyzstan, they'll just like pop in my head and I'm like, I just got to go. if I'm doing that. And then if it's wrestling, if I'm on the mat, I'm wrestling Allie or Forrest or Abby, whoever it is, and I'm going hard. Even I was wrestling with Kramer today. Is just, all right, have fun. Let's go. Like, let's try and score points. Let's see what I can do. And with, Allie, we wrestle so often now because iron sharpens iron and we want to go. But now we know each other so well. So it's a little slower with the points, but it's trying to just stay eager to be in the fight and to enjoy and embrace the battle within it. Because if I can wrestle with her and, be able to control, like, win one of the hand fights, she's an excellent hand fighter, then none of the girls that I'm going to wrestle are going to be as good at that as her. So just trying to, like, take the little victories rather than looking at the big picture, like, wow, this whole practice is very long and it stinks. Like, we have a 3-minute go ahead of us. We have a 30-second go ahead of us. Like, let's see what I can do within that amount of time.
All right. And last question for you today, Kayla. What is your best wrestling memory?
Best wrestling memory. I mean, I think maybe U23's in the semifinals match, down 7-0, and Perry's in my corner. We prepared so much for this tournament. We prepared for this girl specifically. That girl teched me the year before. And I was in the bronze medal match 2 years in a row before that. And, it's like, if I win here, I get a medal. I'm in the finals. If I lose here, it's like, all right, cool. I have to fight through it again. And, down 7-0, and I was just wrestling and flowing. And thankfully I got in a position, a little funky position, and I got the fall. And it was just like, whenever I go back and watch it, I don't watch film that often, but like I go back and it's not about the technique. It's like watching Perry in the background or watching like my dad or Abby up in the stands type of thing. And it's like, wow, like this is really cool that I was able to just stay in it, stay calm and get the job done, and how happy everyone is like for me, because everyone's a part of the journey. So it's just real sweet to think back on it.
Yeah. Well, I know you said you weren't showing too much emotion in that picture at Pan Am's, but you definitely showed a lot of emotion.
Oh yeah.
After that pin. That was awesome. I think I watched that one live and I was jumping up and down. It was a really, really great win, and obviously showed a lot of heart.
Thank you.
So awesome. But hey, thanks for coming on, Kayla. I appreciate your time. Appreciate some of your insight you shared with us today.
Thank you. I had fun.
Yeah. Well, this has been another Team USA Tuesday. I'm Mike Willis. Thanks for tuning in.